Okay, welcome to Summer of Flying 2024. It's Sunday, the 7th of July, and I'm in Questa, northern New Mexico. I've just pre-flighted the airplane. I put my first waypoint in. Flight plan consists of Durango, so these are just waypoints. The first flight's going to be to Moab, and that looks like it's going to take 3 hours and 10 minutes. I'm going to stop in at Moab, but I've just set some waypoints here: Durango, Cortez, and then KCNY, which is Moab. All right, looks like we're up to temp. I'm gonna taxi over to runway 35. There's really no taxiway here, so. Okay, I'm going to do a quick cigars check. So controls. Controls look good. Instruments, all my circuit breakers are in. I have my volts, making current. I'm up to temp. Oil pressure is good. Squawking 1200. I'll get the AWOS in a second. Let's just go back nearest N24 frequency. AWOS is 118.2 and 122.9. I'll get that in a sec.
Dew point -7, altimeter 3028.
3028. All right, that looks good. So I just set the altimeter. Everything else looks good. So that's controls, instruments, gas. So we have our gas on, showing. Controls, instruments, gas, attitude. So I'm going to do one notch of flaps. Set my trim to takeoff trim. Control, instruments, gas, attitude, run up. So let's do a run up. 4,000 RPM. Check the right mag. Check the left mag. And idle. Doors are locked. Everything's looking good. A-OK. Going to make a radio call and then head off. Questa traffic. Kitfox 560 Kilo Foxtrot is taking runway 35. We're going to be at left crosswind departure, Questa. And make a left turn. So we're coming up on, I think the pass is called cumbrous pass, and it's a pretty tall mountain range, getting up to 12,000, 13,000 feet. So I'm just approaching the pass at an angle. If I need to take a whoop to the right and fly back down, there's like a billion places to land out here. Not to the left, there's like a wilderness area that I'm going to pass. I'm not going to fly over it, but it's going to be on my left. And that's, there's some nice little towns and villages and things down here. I don't know why people live so far out of civilization. You know, I feel like I live far away from civilization in a town of 600 people, but there are people like in the middle of this mountain. Like, why did you build your house up here? But I've got my terrain I got my terrain system up on the Aero 660, so that's GPS, and I'm also using my eyeballs. Making sure that we keep a way out to the right, so there's mountains on my left, so if something happens, I don't want to turn left. If something happens, I want to turn right, head down into that valley. There's like 100 different fields to land in down there. And I can see the path, so I can see where I need to hook my turn. And as soon as I've hooked my turn, again, a bunch of fields below. So I'll only really be over this, like, kind of more difficult terrain for about 10 minutes, and then I will be above a road. So there are a lot of roads up here, though. Oh yeah, it's a railway. Holy shit, yeah, that is a railroad. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. I would love to take that. Alright, so there's a whole railroad and this is the one that goes from Antonito. So I think this was the one featured in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade at the start, where young Indiana Jones steals, played by River Phoenix, steals the Cross of Coronado and takes it to his dad. And that was shot in Antonito, Colorado. And I think that, I don't know if it was actually shot on the train tracks, or a train running out here. I'm sure it was in a soundstage somewhere, but in California somewhere. But yeah, this railroad would be incredible to take. I don't know if it runs. Yeah, but this is probably one of the most remote railroads in the US, I'd say. Wow, I much prefer the smell of low lead than 91 octane auto gas, but it seems to be the engine seems to be running fine on mow gas. I did know that auto gas worked. In the Rotax 912, ULS is perfectly fine running on 91 octane mow gas. I was trying to get back onto my GPS track. These mountains, I have descended below the height of the mountains here. I do have a way out. I could fly in a Charmer if I needed to. So we'll go New Mexico, just over that pass that we flew over. Durango, fly over Durango, fly over Cortez, through Colorado, pass into Utah, stop at Moab, and so the plan is to try and get past the Great Salt Lake Desert into Wendover. You know, if I was really pushing it, I would try to get to Elko, but I don't really think that's wise. It's a lot of miles, so baby steps, but the goal is first up, fly over Durango, then Cortez, then land at Canyonlands in Moab, and then fuel up, use the restroom, have something to eat, and then fly to Salt Lake City, through Utah, Salt Lake City, and then fly west over the Great Salt Lake Desert into Wendover. Mainly what I'm looking for is a short walk to a hotel for tonight. I don't really want to be in a situation where I have to catch an Uber at 4 a.m. from in a town like Wendover. I mean, it is a casino city, so it might be more you know, there might be a higher chance that there's a Lyft or an Uber at 4 a.m. or a taxi, but, you know, if I can find something that's 10 minutes walk from the airport, I'll be heading back to California to meet up with 3 or 4 other pilots, and we'll be flying from Concord in California, which is in the Bay Area. It's just the East Bay. So if you know of San Francisco and you head over the Bay Bridge, you get to Oakland. If you keep heading east, you get to like Lafayette, Walnut Creek, and then Concord. So me and my friends are hangared when I'm in the Bay Area. I'm hangared in Concord. Yeah, so pick up Alex and Nigel and Gary, and then we'll fly leg 2, which is to Idaho, which is going to be amazing. Yeah, so the legs for this whole summer of flying will be broken up into, I think, let's consider there to be 5 parts for now. It might grow depending on what happens in Idaho, but starting off, leg 1 or part 1 of the journey is flying individually or solo from my place in northern New Mexico back to California. And so that's a 2-day part 1, takes 2 days. And then part 2 is going to be flying to Idaho and then flying around Idaho, kind of a little mini Kitfox fly-in 3 weeks after the actual Kitfox fly-in. So part 2 is flying to Idaho and doing some Frank Church backcountry flying. Hopefully, maybe fly the Oahe. Take it easy, you know. It's just getting your feet under you, getting your mojo back. And so part 2, and then from Idaho, we're going to fly east on leg part 3 of summer flying will be the trip to Oshkosh. So it's always like a 3-day trip, and it's a journey, but it's like a whole segment in and of itself. Cool little lake off to the west. What is that? Oh, so that's the Navajo Reservoir. That's pretty cool. So if we flew over the Navajo Reservoir and kept going, we get to Farmington. I'm kind of off to the north a little bit. So yeah, leg part number 3 is this trip to Oshkosh. We'll head through Idaho, I think Wyoming, South Dakota, Minnesota, and then Wisconsin. So another bunch of states. So I think by the time I get to Oshkosh, I'll have been through New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, California, Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. 10 states have flown through by the time we get to Oshkosh. And then part 4 of this whole big trip is going to be a week in Oshkosh. And that's the world's biggest and America's biggest air show and fly-in. And so hundreds of thousands of people will show up, thousands of airplanes fly in, and we'll take our little group, fly into the ultralight field, do the ultralight arrival, and basically you go from flying every day to pull out your camp chair and sit down, crack open a cold one, whatever your poison may be, and start eating donuts. And that's a week of debauchery, and then that's part 4, and then part 5 is the trip back. And so that will be, for me, I'm going to end up flying back through, and this is going to be really interesting. I think I'm going to be flying through South Dakota, No. Sioux Falls. I might actually be flying through Nebraska, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, and maybe that's it.
So I just stopped in Canyonlands in Moab, Utah. First stop of the trip. Pretty terrible landing. I bounced quite a lot. So I tried to land it on the gravel strip. Actually did a pretty good job. My approach was good. I just flared a little bit high and wasn't too big a deal. Yeah, but it's beautiful out here. The approach was amazing. So I just filled up with gas. I put about $100 worth of 100 low lead in, and that should be good to go for my next stop. So I'm gonna walk to the FBO, do a little bit of flight planning for the next leg, because I don't know if I'll make it all the way to Wendover.
Yeah, so just took off Canyonlands from Moab. It was a pretty quick stay. I just wanted to get some fuel, had to top up. I think it took pretty much 16 gallons. I would have used probably 18. So I would say I'm 2 gallons shy of my full limit. That puts me at about 23 gallons. My destination's about probably 18 gallons, so that would be about 5 or 6 gallons in reserve, not including my header tank. Yeah, it was a good stop. It was pretty quick. Some of these can be, you just stop, get gas, and then run. I will be tired by the next one, so I think by the next stop, I'll probably spend a bit more time on the ground. Obviously, Moab's a huge tourist destination, and you go into the FBO, and there's like a TSA pre-check, and there's lines, and there's desks, and there's counters, and there's windows, and shutters, and there's usually a big seating area, and I think that's to take people out, shuttle people in and shuttle people out for sightseeing around the Canyonlands area. The guy there was super friendly. Some of the reviews in ForeFlight are a little mixed, so I don't know if he was kind of trying to compensate for, I don't know if the airport has this small GA aircraft land and they don't get much attention. My feeling is, for someone like me, I wouldn't complain about anything really at an airport, just because I'm so used to landing at airports where there's absolutely nothing going on. So if a truck doesn't come out and greet me, or I don't expect there to be some...
Canyonlands, 411 November Bravo is coming over.
Yeah, so it was fine. I don't need anyone to come out and greet me. I don't need red carpet service. I think there's a pretty decent culture of pilots out there who do expect that. They're like, I'm buying $1,000 worth of Jet A from your FBO. At least come out and say hello, which is fair. But for me, I'm putting in $100 worth of low lead. I don't even think my airplane's weight counts to any kind of maintenance need for the RAM. It's so insignificant or inconsequential to the operations of the airport that I don't really expect someone to come out and greet me and shake my hand and be like, please sir, come to our amazing FBO. I'm currently kind of flying, here let me take a video. I'm flying through serious desert. And this is going to be kind of the status quo for the next 2 days. So if you can see out to my left, for pretty much there's some hills in the distance, but pretty flat for as far as the eye can see. And then over to the right, we got more desert. And then in front of me, just more desert. So, we're not following the track so aggressively. I would be kind of flying along the highway, just kind of chilling out with the traffic, making sure that, I have a safe place to land and that they know I'm here. Not that they need to know I'm here, but it's just, it's just fun to fly above the traffic and be like, hey, how you're in this cutthroat situation? Well, I get to fly above it all. So up in the distance, you see these two highways. One goes to the right, which turns north, and the other goes to the south. Takes a left and goes to the south. And yeah, it's basically you drive down through southern Utah into northern New Mexico, or even, I guess, northern Arizona by now. Or you take a right and drive up to Salt Lake City. And here's that mesa. Yeah, look how cool that is. And especially, has anyone climbed up there? Did someone live up there at one point? Is there a civilization that we're unaware of that used to be up there? Or do drunk people from Green River go there on a Friday night and climb up there and drink beers and throw beer bottles off the top? Part of me wants to go up there, but part of me realizes that when I do get there, you know, it'll be just a rock. Alright, just had one of those moments of abject terror flying over these mountains. I just flew up this canyon. There's a road there, so, you know, I had a way out, and I think that's probably 3,000 feet below that road. So I had quite a lot of clearance there. Yeah, so I'm just getting this kind of like consistent, it's just like picking the plane up and making it go to the side for a bit and then the other way. And it's just disconcerting, you know, you're in, it feels a little bit like a roller coaster. It's fun, but there is the, so, you know, it's like these big moves and then these like little boops and like you're kind of all over the place. So it's a combination of, you know, thermals rising from the ground and then some wind blowing over these hills. So, you know, some ridge lift and then sink mixed with thermals. So it's your typical kind of bumpy, terrifying, scary moment in flying. Yeah, it's pretty chilled out kind of next leg, hopefully. As we get out of these mountains and then get closer to Lake Utah, I think the turbulence is going to get just still going to be there, but it's just going to be bubbles from the mid to late morning. And then as we head over the lake, I'm just guessing that it's going to be like beating me to shit. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, just landed Wendover and everything went okay. No one was injured. The airplane didn't flip over or anything like that. I don't know why it would, but yeah, nothing scary happened, so. And here we are at Wendover. I'll take some videos and some pictures.
Just landed at the iconic Wendover Airport. This is where they shot Con Air. I don't know if that's the plane from Con Air, maybe it is. Here's the tower from the film Con Air. Yeah, and they also, this is where I think they staged a lot of the military flying for the Second World War. I think the big bombers used to fly out of here. This was also in the running for the Reno Air Race Association, moving the air races to a different airport than Reno Stead, and this is one of the airports in the running alongside Roswell, New Mexico, which is where it is going to be. That won the bid. Pueblo, Colorado, and Casper, Wyoming. So yeah, it's a nice airport. I really like the old control tower. It's very authentic. We'll take a look at that bomber in a sec.
We're on to flight number 3 of the day, and this is the last one that I'm going to do. It's an hour long, and it's to Elko from Wendover. I just spent about an hour and a half here in Wendover chilling out. Yeah, and I booked a hotel for Elko. I think, you know, it's going to be windy there, but it's right. Looks like it's right down the runway, and it should be an okay flight. I think it's just going to be bumpy, like any flights at this time in summer. So just take it easy, really relax takeoff, and yeah, just make sure that we make good decisions here.
120 at 14. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 35 Celsius. Dew point -03 Celsius. Altimeter 3005. Remarks. Density altitude 7,300.
And Wendover traffic, Kitfox 0 Kilo Foxtrot, clear of 12 and taxiing to the run-up area for 8 by Alpha 1, Wendover.
Pacemaker 3 is midfield downwind for right traffic runway 8, full stop. Wendover traffic, Pacemaker 3 is turning base, final runway 8, full stop. This is Wendover.
And Wendover traffic, Kitfox 0 Kilo Foxtrot is on the upwind, runway 8, and we're going to be a right crosswind departure, Wendover. Yeah, so we're up in the air and we're heading west. Just leaving Wendover now. It's going to be about an hour flight to...
Wendover traffic, Pacemaker 3 is clearing at Alpha 3 and Alpha back to ground.
I think it's like 55 minutes to Elko, and then just going to tie up. I'll put the cameras on, see if I can capture my landing in Elko. I'm not sure what it's going to be like, but we'll give it a go. All right, see you in a bit. Yeah, just a mid-flight check-in. So I left Wendover what seems like 30 minutes ago, and there was 55 minutes to fly to Elko, and it feels like I've flown for 30 minutes, and now it says 45 minutes. So it's just one of those flights that's extremely bumpy, extremely turbulent, and it just feels like it's taking forever. So this is just one of the things that you have to deal with if you want to fly around in a small airplane. Not everything is like, oh, there's a little runway going up on, oh, that's awesome. Let me see if I can take a video of that. Yeah, check that out. 2 runways, side by side, and a little house or a cabin. You can see I'm just like you can see the camera moving around, and just like there's constant. Yeah, let me pull power a bit. There's just like constant movement. It's like you're in a, like, it's just like you're on an ocean, basically. Just you're on the high seas, and well, that was pretty cool. Yeah, it just feels like there's this kind of never-ending, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, for a good 30 minutes, just going like, why am I putting myself through this? Like, my back hurts. I'm not worried or nervous or anything. Like, you know, you got to do what you got to do. If you want to fly a plane around, you got to deal with some turbulence. And It's not like it's going to break anything. It's not like you're going to fall out of the sky. There are some times where I'm like, yeah, I don't want to fly too low because I don't want, like, if I get a massive downdraft, just one of those bang, like, I don't want to be like 300 feet above the ground when that happens. The other thing is it's a little bit more stable up here. I'm at like 7,500 to 8,000 feet. Yeah, so that's the mid-flight check-in. Still looks like I've got 39 minutes left, even though I've been talking for like 4 minutes. So, you know, it said 40 minutes when I started talking. So, yeah, I'm gonna take a left. So I'm flying into the wind now. My heading's 330, and I think the wind's coming from the north, or the northwest, and so 330 is almost the direct like headwind heading, which means it's a little smoother. I think when I take this left hand, I got like a 90-degree left hand turn to go around this mountain, and then I'll see Elko as soon as you get around this mountain. You can see Elko. But then that means the wind's coming from the side, so it's kind of pushing you, rolling you a bit more. Wells, you can't see it, but there's another airport called Wells off in the distance. It's 2 runways. The good thing about Elko is the wind's 300, blowing like, I think it's 9 to 16 knots, and there's a runway that's 30, so I can land on 30 into a direct headwind, and yeah, hopefully get one nice landing today, because you know the other two have been a little bit shocking, but we'll get it there, and I'll try and remember to turn the cameras on when I get closer so I can film the landing. I promise I haven't been forgetting to film them for any reason. Not like I'm worried about showing landings or anything like that. It's just I've forgotten. Kind of got caught up in the moment. Well, plenty more over the course of the next 21 days of Summer of Flying 2024. Alright, so I'm just setting up to enter the pattern. This is pretty much going to be it. I'll try and record this. If it works out, I'll publish it. If it doesn't, I will not. Just keep a little bit of altitude, make sure I don't get too low. Bit of power so I can climb. Bit more power so I can actually climb. That chopper's trying to take off. Elko traffic, Kitfox 0 Kilo Foxtrot is on a left crosswind, runway 30, Elko. And Elko traffic, Kitfox 0 Kilo Foxtrot is turning left downwind, runway 30, Elko. And get your descent stabilized. Elko traffic, Kitfox 0 Kilo Foxtrot, turning left base runway 30 Elko. Yeah, I don't want to be too high.
500.
And Elko traffic, Kitfox 0 Kilo Foxtrot, turning final, runway 30 will be full stop Elko. Yeah, I'm super high.
Short final runway 30.
Okay, the numbers of 1-2 will be departing to the east.
I mean, good enough, good enough. I got it on the ground. I got it on the ground, and we're departing the runway. Elko traffic, Kitfox 0 Kilo Foxtrot, clear of runway 30 at Bravo 2, Elko. Ooh, baby. Well, I guess that's how you fly a really bumpy, not very pretty, but effective, gusty 9 to 23, yeah, kind of shit show. It wasn't too bad. I'm not disgusted with it. I feel like we did a good job. Got on the ground, wheeled it on. I one notch of flaps, and that was about it. Take a breath. That was intense. The whole flight, that whole leg, wasn't fun. I mean, it was intense after intensity after intensity after intensity. I did had a little bit of a swerve on the rollout for the landing. That's all good.
After a long day flying, the job is not over. You have to put fuel in your plane and then find somewhere to park, and then find out how to get out of the airport, and then unpack your plane, take off all your cameras, make sure that you have all of the rotten food that could go rotten that's in your plane out, and then, only then, can you make your way to the hotel. So let's get all of this started. The next phase in day one of part one of the Summer Flying 2024 keeps going.